Let's continue with Rule 3, no? Parties to a civil action. Okay, so sa parties to a civil action, ito tinatanong to every year, no? Pwede kayong tanongin sa mas mahirap, pwede kayong tanongin sa mas madali. Nung time ko, nung 2020, 2021 bar exams, hindi ganun kahirap yung naging tanong. Ang naging tanong sa akin, ito, yung resident marine mammals case, no? Kaya ito, hindi nawawala talaga sa isip ko yan. Same thing, sa bar exam question ko, dolphin din yung plaintiff, no? So, ginamit itong kaso na to dun sa bar exam ko. Okay? So, pwede naman kayong sa mas mahirap yung tanong, you know? So, let's tackle rule 3. So, who may be parties? No, tatlo lang. Natural persons, juridical persons, entities authorized by law. Ganun kasimple. So, ang aso, hindi. No? Hindi siya pwedeng maging party to a civil action. Okay? So, sa resident marine mammals nga, dolphins. No? Pero sa resident marine mammals, kasi nga, nag-file ang representative ng mga dolphins, mangingisda. No? So, nag-proceed pa rin yung kaso kasi yung mga mangingisda ang real parties in interest. No? Kasi doon sa environmental case na to, na-damage yung tubig, no? Madadamage yung tubig, pwede na yung mga mangingisda. Okay, ulit tayo. Okay, warm up, warm up. Let's continue with Huwag kaya nakakapa ko maganda. Parang hindi ko gusto yung hair ko ngayon. Pag binasa, tuyo din, tuyo na ngayon. Hindi maganda. Tatapusin ko mga 19 ngayon. Mamayang gabi na ako tatapos siguro. Sige. Tapos na yung roll to eh. Kakatapos ng previous video. Let's continue with rule 3. Parties to a civil action. Okay, ito, halos every year sa bar exam sa tatanong to, no? Pwedeng madali, pwedeng mahirap, no? Noong time ko, hindi ganun kahirap yung naging tanong. No? 2020, 2021 bar exams, dito lang ako tinanong. Or kami tinanong, no? Sa resident marine mammals case lang. Okay? So, who may be parties? No? Only natural or juridical persons or entities authorized by law may be parties in a civil action. So, tatlo lang yan. Natural, juridical entities authorized by law. Hindi po kasali ang animals. Ganun lang ka-basic. No? So, ang aso nyo, hindi pwede mag-file ng kaso. Kaya mag-file ng kaso, laban dun sa defendant. Kasi your dog, no, your cat, your pet is your property. No? Okay. So, what are some entities authorized by law? Usually, dito kayo tatanungin. Sa corporation by estopel at saka partnership by estopel. Kasi correlation siya sa commercial law. By the way, ito, matatanong ulit natin, matatakil ulit ito mamaya, ano? Itong corporation by estopel at saka partnership by estopel dito sa, ano sa, here, suits against entities without juridical personality. Babalikan natin mamaya ito. No? Kaya kung matatanong yung entities authorized by law, yun ang ka-correlation nun. Yung latter provision, yung mga last provisions nasa last provision siya ng Rule 3. Okay? Other examples are churches, estate of the deceased person, ito sa special proceeding to, no? Petition for settlement of estate, legitimate labor organizations sa labor law, at saka dissolved corporation. Kasi pag dissolved na po ang corporation, again, no? Brief background lang sa commercial law, once the corporation is dissolved, no? Wala na siyang juridical personality. However, he can still sue, can also be sued, di ba? For the purposes of winding up the corporation, for the purpose of liquidating, no? For closing the books of the corporation. Malalaman yun later on sa mercantile law. Okay? So what's the effect when a party impleaded is not authorized to become a party? So meron tayong apat na scenarios dito. If the plaintiff is not authorized to be a party, the case may be dismissed based on the affirmative defense of lack of capacity to sue. No? Pwede ring lack of capacity to sue na lang nilagay ko rito so that we can delineate yung failure to state cause of action at saka lack of capacity to sue. Pero po, pag ang nag-file ng kaso, animal, failure to state cause of action din yan. Kasi wala namang cause of action yung animal. Diba? Ang cause of action niya nasa may-ari nung animal. Pero gusto ko lang kasi inilay ko lang dito, kaya naman nilay ko maiden. Kaya ko lang nilagay yung lack of capacity to sue, so makita natin yung pagkakaiba kapag ang plaintiff ang animal at saka kapag defendant ang animal. Okay, if the plaintiff is authorized to become a party, like a natural person, and the defendant is an animal, the ground is failure to state cause of action. Why? Because the party, a natural person, the plaintiff, who is a natural person, has capacity to sue. But, ang cause of action po niya, hindi sa animal, kung hindi sa may-ari nung animal. Kaya madidismiss po ang kaso because of failure to state cause of action. Okay? Next, if the plaintiff is a child without the assistance of his parents, no? The ground is lack of capacity to sue. So the case may be dismissed based on lack of capacity to sue ulit. No? Why? Kasi incapacitated person. Same thing po yan pag halimbawa civil interdiction, insane, and so on. No? Without the assistance of his parents. If the plaintiff is authorized to be a party, like a natural person, and the defendant is a child, the action will not be dismissed. Instead, it will proceed, but a guardian ad litem will be appointed for the child. Mag-a-appoint po yung court ng guardian ad litem or guardian pending litigation to represent the interests of the child. Nakita nyo, iba po yung mga possible grounds, no, to dismiss the case or hindi nga madidismiss yung case at all. Depende kung plaintiff yung incapacitated or yung defendant yung incapacitated. It differs. Okay? Sana po malinaw, no? Pag animal, yung plaintiff, lack of capacity to sue, at saka nga, pwede nyo rin sabing failure to state. Pero pag defendant yung animal, yung plaintiff, natural person, failure to state lang, hindi po lack of capacity to sue. Okay? And so on. No? Real parties in interest. No? Who are or who is a real party in interest? A real party in interest is a party who stands to be benefited, or injured by the judgment in the suit, or is the party entitled to the avails of the suit. If the plaintiff or the defendant is not a real party in interest, no? Example is he does not have a right to the party he does not have a right to the property he is claiming. The case may be dismissed for failure to state cause of action. Huwag natin ilagay yung defendant. The plaintiff is not a real party in interest. Example is he does not have a right to the property he is claiming. Dismissal for failure to state cause of action. So let's have an example here, no? Correlate ulit natin siya sa corporation law. Mr. A is a stockholder of ABC Corporation. ABC Corporation entered into a contract of sale with DEF. DEF Corporation committed fraud in the performance of the contract. Ang tawag dyan, incidental fraud, di ba, sa civil code. Thus, Mr. A, in his own name as the stockholder of ABC Corporation, filed an action for damages against DEF Corporation. So the action be dismissed? Yes. The action should be dismissed due to failure to state a cause of action. Sino ba ang may cause of action in this scenario? ABC Corporation has the cause of action because a corporation has a separate and distinct personality from its stockholders, such as Mr. A. Kaya po, ang nag-file dapat ng kaso si ABC, hindi si Mr. A. Okay? Kung gusto niyo ng derivative suit, di ba? Medyo mag-extend na tayo sa commercial, no? Kung magpa-file po ng derivative suit si Mr. A, laban kay DEF, dapat ang title ng kaso, ABC Corporation as represented by Mr. A. Ganon. Versus DEF Corporation. Ang real party in interest, si ABC. Okay? Si Mr. A, representative lang yan. Or what we call as nominal party. Okay? Kasi ang talagang na-injure dun sa fraud, sa incidental fraud is or was si ABC. Hindi po si Mr. A. So, dapat hindi siya ang plaintiff sa kaso. Next tayo. Nabanggit ko na rin yung representative, no? Representatives as parties, no? So, linawin natin. Kasi itong representatives as parties, interplay po ito ng remedial law at saka ng civil code ulit on law on agency, where the action is allowed to be prosecuted and defended by a representative or someone acting in a fiduciary capacity. The beneficiary shall be included in the title of the case and shall be deemed to be the real party in interest. Kaya nga sinasabi ko sa inyo, pag ang real party in interest yung beneficiary such as child, insane, person suffering from civil interdiction, corporation, partnership, di ba? Sila po ang real party in interest. Okay? Yung ating stockholder o yung guardian o yung parent, sila po, representatives lang sila nung real party in interest. No? Okay. So, kaya po dapat, kung derivative suit nga, ABC Corporation as represented by Mr. A. Its stockholder or its minority stockholder. Something like that. Okay. Next principle natin dito sa next clauses natin dito sa representatives as parties. An agent acting in his own name and for the benefit of an undisclosed principal may sue or be sued without joining the principal, except when the contract involves things belonging to the principal. Dito po sa last sentences nito ng Section 3, Rule 3, kailangan natin kayong bigyan ng facts, factual circumstance. Kailangan natin bigyan kayo ng case so that we can grasp ano ba ibig sabihin nitong undisclosed principal. When is the principal disclosed? When is the principal undisclosed? And when does the agent act in his own name and for his own benefit? When does the agent act in his own name and for the benefit of an undisclosed principal? And when does the contract involve things belonging to the principal? So tatlo yan. In his own name, benefit of undisclosed principal, at saka contract involves things belonging to the principal. May kaso tayo para dito. Okay? Eto, itong Vigent. Okay, sige. Takan natin yung mga examples. So, if you can see, no, anyway, nasabi ko na rin naman to sa orientation. How do we conduct yung discussions natin for remedial law, no, for the bar review? We conduct it na madami yung examples. Whether example ko or example na kinuha ko sa cases. Okay? Kasi that's the only way para maintindihan talaga natin yung nakasulat sa provision. Kasi pag yan, abstract nyo lang na-get, even though get nyo, mahirap yan i-apply pag nasa exam na. Diba? Mangangapa pa kayo. So yan, no? Kung may makakuha kayo sa mahaba-habay discussion natin ngayon. if you can get anything from our discussion today, tatandaan nyo, ang mastery laging nasa example, no? So yung memorization, dapat nyo naman talaga i-memorize yung caudal. Yun yung first step. And you can only memorize if you understand. Diba? So pag naintindihan nyo na, yun yung first step. Ang second step nyo, illustration. Anyway, I'm here naman for remedial law. Ibibigay ko na sa inyo yung mga illustrations natin para mas malinaw. Okay? So sa mga ibang subjects, no? May mga lectures din naman tayo for sa ibang subjects, no? Anyway, sa lahat ng subjects din, I think you need to make your own examples din so that you can check, no? You can assess yourself kung get nyo talaga yung topic, kung get nyo talaga yung provision. Kasi if you can do that, papasa talaga kayo sa bar. Ganun lang yun. No? Wala namang pagkakaiba yung mahirap na example sa yung madaling example. Pareho lang yan, isang provision lang naman ang pinagkuhanan yan. Walang pagkakaiba. Pinahirapan kayo, pinadali kayo, isang provision lang ang mag-a-apply. Okay, sige. Tuloy tayo. Mr. A is an OFW. Mr. C obtained a 1 million pesos loan in the amount of 1 million pesos from Mr. A. Okay? Mr. C failed to pay the due and demandable loan upon demand. So, alam nyo na yan. Delay. Diba? Thus, Mr. A authorized Mr. B through a special power of attorney to file an action for collection of sum of money against C. On January 3, 2023, Mr. B filed the said action against Mr. C. Mr. B disclosed that Mr. A is his principal and the supposed creditor of Mr. C. However, Mr. B did not include Mr. A in the title of the case. Okay? Should the action be dismissed for failure to state cause of action? Yes, the action should be dismissed for failure to state cause of action. Under the rules, where the action is allowed to be prosecuted and defended by a representative or someone acting in a fiduciary capacity, the beneficiary shall be included in the title of the case and shall be considered or shall be deemed to be the real party in interest. Here, the action should be dismissed for failure to state a cause of action because Mr. A, the principal and the real party in interest, was not included in the case. The case should have been titled as Mr. A, represented by Mr. B versus Mr. C. Ganun dapat yan. Okay? Attorney, pwede mong i-amend na lang yung complaint para maipasok si Mr. A. Malalaman natin later on sa Rule 10 if amendment is feasible in this scenario. Okay? Next tayo. Tignan ito. Mr. C. Okay. Next tayong example. Ulit-ulit, no? Mahilig din ako sa ganito, no? Halos pare-pareho lang yung examples, binabago ko lang ng konti yung ibang mga facts. No? Mr. A is an OFW ulit. Mr. C obtained a 1 million peso loan from Mr. A. Mr. C failed to pay the due and demandable loan upon demand. Thus, Mr. A authorized Mr. B through a special power of attorney to file an action for a collection of sum of money against C. On January 3, 2023, Mr. B filed the said action against Mr. C. Okay. Mr. B did not disclose that Mr. A is principal and the supposed creditor of Mr. C. Further, Mr. B did not include Mr. A in the title of the case. Should the action be dismissed for failure to state cause of action? So, paano po ang nangyari sa una nating example? Dito, dinisclose ni B na si A yung principal pero hindi nilagay ni B sa title si Mr. A. Ulit. Sa first example, dinisclose ni B na si A ang principal, siya talaga yung nagpautang pero hindi inilagay ni Mr. B sa title si Mr. A. Okay? Dito po sa pangalawang example, Okay. So sa una, si A nagpautang, binigyan ng SPA si B dinisclose na si A ang kanyang principal, pero hindi in-include ni B sa title si A. Yun. Sa second example, ang nagpautang ulit kay C si A. Binigyan ng SPA si B. Si B, hindi niya dinisclose sa allegations ng complaint na si A yung principal. Yun. And hindi rin in-include ni B sa title si A. Okay, so ano lang po pinagkaiba ng dalawa? Dito sa una, dinisclose pero wala sa title. Sa pangalawa, hindi na dinisclose, wala pa sa title. Okay, so dun sa second example natin, should the action be dismissed for failure to state cause of action? Yes pa din. Okay, yes pa din. The action should be dismissed for failure to state cause of action. Gagamitin natin ngayon, no, para mas simple. Gamitin natin yung requisites, yung elements sa Vigent Incorporated versus Morningstar Travel and Tours. No? Case law dictates that an agent may sue or be sued solely in its own name and without joining the principal when the following elements concur. First, the agent acted in his own name during the transaction. The agent acted for the benefit of an undisclosed principal, and the transaction did not involve the property of the principal. Here, no? The action should be dismissed. Bakit na madi-dismiss? Kasi bagsak sa tatlong elements. Unang-una, the agent did not act at all during the transaction. Kasi sino nagpautang kay si A. So, the principal acted in his own name during the transaction. So, bagsak agad tayo sa first element. Second element, the agent acted for the benefit of an undisclosed principal. The principal was disclosed in the transaction. Kasi nga, si A yung nagbigay ng utang kay C. Yun talaga yung nakalagay dito sa facts. Okay, so lastly, the transaction did not involve the property of the principal. That transaction involved the property of the principal kasi nga pera ni A yun. Okay? Pera ni A yun. So sa lahat po to bagsak. Di ba? Because Mr. B, the agent, did not act in his own name during the execution of the contract of loan. It was Mr. A who executed the contract of loan. Di ba? And the contract of loan, yan, involved the money of Mr. A. Yun. Thus, Mr. A should have been included in the title of the case as he is the real party in interest. Okay. So, ayan, kahit paano nakikita nyo na po yung interplay nitong una na to at saka nitong pangalawa. Okay? So, itong una natin example, ginamit natin dito yung una. Okay? Kasi dito po sa una, dinisclose eh. Disclose. Pero wala sa title. Okay? Dito sa pangalawa, undisclosed. O doon tayo sa next set. Dito na tayo sa next, di ba? Dito na tayo papasok. O ngayon, pangatlong example tayo. Mr. A is an OFW ulit. Okay, Mr. A authorized B through a special power of attorney to enter for and on his behalf into a contract of loan with Mr. C. Later, Mr. B, without disclosing that Mr. A was his principal, executed a contract of loan with Mr. C. However, Mr. C failed to pay the due and demandable loan upon demand. Thus, Mr. A authorized Mr. B through another special power of attorney to file an action for collection of sum of money against Mr. C. On January 3, 2023, Mr. B filed the said action against Mr. C. In the action, Mr. B did not disclose that Mr. A is his principal. Further, Mr. B did not include Mr. A in the title of the case. Should the action be dismissed again based on failure to state cause of action? Yes pa din. Ulitin natin. Sa pangatlong example, iba po. No? Dito po sa second example, saka sa first example, ang humarap po talaga kay si A. Sila talaga yung nag-usap doon sa loan. Dito po sa third example, binigyan po ni A ng SPA si B upang pautangin si C. So, hindi po talaga humarap si A. He did not appear. He did not, he was not in contact yun with Mr. C. Okay? Sige. So, bakit to madidismiss pa rin ng kaso dito? Uulitin po ulit natin yung tatlong elements. Tingnan natin ulit. The agent acted in his own name during the transaction. Pasado dyan. Kasi nga may SPA si B. Tapos si B lang ang nakipag-usap kay C. And then the agent acted in his own name during the transaction. Next, the agent acted for the benefit of an undisclosed principal. Pasado ulit. Kasi nga, silang dalawa ang nagpirmahan. Ano? Mr. B, without disclosing A, executed a contract of loan with C. Pasado ulit. Sa pangatlo tayo babagsak dito. The transaction did not involve the property of the principal. Here, the action should be dismissed for failure to state cause of action because the contract of loan involved a property belonging to Mr. A. That is, the money that was given to Mr. C under the contract of loan. Pera niya yun eh. Thus, Mr. A should have been included in the title of the case as he is the real party in interest. So ano po pinagkaiba nung pangalawa sa pangatlo na examples, no? Sa pangalawa, bagsak sa lahat. Dito sa pangatlo, pasado sa unang dalawa, bagsak sa pangatlo. Kasi nga the property, the transaction, yung contract of loan, it involved the property of Mr. A. So dapat in-include siya. Nakita nyo na. So natuto na kayo ng remedial law, natuto pa kayo ng civil law on agency. Okay, makikita naman tayo ulit sa agency, no? Sa civil law. Ito, nilagay ko rito yung pinaka-facts nung Vigent case na to, no? Inilagay natin. O, attorney, paano can you give me, can you give me an example kung saan pasado sa tatlo? Yan. Kasi dito po sa examples natin, 2 and 3, bagsak, di ba? May ibinagsak sila. So, dapat in-include si A as real party in interest. Meron ba tayong senaryo? Meron bang maibibigay sa aming senaryo kung saan pasado sa lahat? Meron po. Baligtarin natin. Okay? Sige. Ganito. Sulat tayo, no? Sulat natin. Sige. Agahin natin ng konti. Ano? Facts. Babaguhin natin ng konti, pero iba yung magiging sagot. Sige. Ano bang mag-screen share tayo ng whiteboard? Yan. Okay. Yung example natin kanina, wala. Example natin kanina, si A, yan. Si A, okay. What's happened here? Anyway, sige. Example natin kanina, si A, yung creditor, di ba? Yung OFW. Okay. Si C, yung debtor. Okay. Tapos, si B, siya ang agent ni A. Okay. So, isulat natin ha. Ito, ayan. Di ba si A, siya ang creditor. No? Creditor. Si B, siya ang may SPA ni A. Tapos si C, siya ang debtor. No? Ni A. Okay. ABC lang, no? So, in this scenario po, di ba dapat A should be disclosed. Kahit na si B ang humarap lang kay C all along. Kahit siya lang talaga, may SPA siya sa lahat, sa pagpapautang, sa pag-file ng kaso, meron siya sa lahat ng SPA. Dapat si A i-include pa rin sa kaso as the real party in interest kasi the money was his. That the transaction involved property belonging to A. O, next tayong slide. Next tayong board. Okay. Baligtarin natin ngayon. Sabihin natin si A, B, C. Okay. So si B ulit may SPA. Sabihin natin si A ang debtor, si C ang creditor. Tapos si SPA nito sa debtor, yan, SPA niya. Okay, so yan, draw natin, no. So paano natin i-illustrate to? In this scenario, sabihin natin, Mr. A, through a special power of attorney, ay di pala, Mr. A wanted to obtain a loan from Mr. C. OFW ulit si Mr. A. So, si A gustong umutang kay C. Na OFW, so paano pipirma? Diba? Or paano siyang makikipag-deal kay C? Si C nasa Philippines. Paano dadali ang transaction natin? Binigyan ni A ng SPA si B. Ano yung authority ni B? B can obtain, di ba? Through a special power of authority is authorized to obtain a loan from Mr. C on behalf of Mr. A. Okay. So, in this scenario po, si A, B, C. Tapos, ibibigay yung pera dito kay A. Okay. Ganyan. Okay. Yung scenario natin kanina, ganito eh. A, B, C. Tapos, yung pera papunta kay C. Di ba dito, need to disclose. Disclose. Kasi, yung pera, it involved property belonging to the principal. Diba? At ito si B, agent siya ni A. In this scenario po, sabihin natin ang nag-transact ang dito sa so dito na tayo sa second example, dito sa example na to. Si B lang ang nakipag-transaction kay C. Hindi niya dinisclose si A at all. Okay? So A wanted to obtain a loan from someone. Sabihin natin kinailangan niya ng pera sa abroad para gusto niyang mauwi ng Philippines. So, kailangan umutang sa kung sino man sa Pilipinas. Binigyan niya ng SPACB. O B, hanapan mo ko ng pag-uutangan. Sabi niya gano'n. Si B naman humanap. Ang katransaksyon lang ng creditor ni C, si B lang. Hindi dinisclose ni B si A and B acted in his own name. And then later on, yung nakuhang utang, ibinigay ni B kay A. Kasi nga si B agent. Okay. In this scenario, pag nag-file ng kaso, sabihin natin, nagkaroon ng nagkaroon ng kaso. Sabihin natin nagkaroon ng kaso, hindi nakapagbayad si B. Failed to pay. Ay, di pala si B. Hindi nakapagbayad si A, no? Tuwahin natin. Di, ano mangyayari dyan, di ba? Action for collection of sum of money. File si C versus B. Okay, so gawa tayo ulit ng bago ano. So, ayan na. So, action for collection of sum of money. Action by C versus B. So, sabi ni B, no? In his answer, sabi niya, failure to state. Because, but no failure to state kasi A was the real party in interest. Real party in interest. Yan. Tanong. Dismissed? Dismissed ba yung kaso? Punta ulit tayo sa mga elements. So, ayan. Next tayo ulit. Board. Ano yung element? Una, agent in his own name. Di ba? Name entered into a transaction. Transaction. Di ba? Number 2, for the benefit of undisclosed principal. Number 3, transaction involves things belonging to the principal. Okay, tingnan natin ngayon yung tatlo. Kung tatlong elements na ito, kung pasado sa lahat. First one, did B act in his own name nung kinuha yung loan? Yes. Kasi ito yung ito yung facts, 'di ba? Ayan. A, B, C, 'di ba? Binigyan ni A ng SPA si B. Hanapan mo ko ng pagkakautangan natin. Pagkakautangan ko. Si B ang humanap, si B ang nakipag-transaction kay C. Hindi niya dinisclose si A. Okay. So, pasok po tayo sa una, panalo rin, pasok din sa pangalawa, pasado din. Pasado sa una, pasado sa dalawa, pangalawa, kasi the agent B acted in his own name when he entered into a contract of loan with C. And B entered into this transaction for the benefit of an undisclosed principal. Hindi niya dinisclose si A. Lastly, did the transaction involve things belonging to Mr. A? No. Wala po. Walang property involved. Walang property belonging to Mr. A. Wala. Kanino po yung property? Kay C. Di ba? So, did the transaction involve things belonging to the principal? No. Okay, gawa tayo isa pa. Why? Si A, nothing was given by A. It was C who gave money. And B, agent of A. Not B. And not C. Di ba? So, pasok din po tayo sa pangatlong requisite, pangatlong element. Ulitin ko, bakit? Because C was the one who gave the thing. The transaction involved things belonging to C, not A. A had nothing to give. Wala pa. Nung in-enter yung contract, syempre later on, during the consummation of the contract, ibabalik niya yung pera with interest. No? Pero wala pa naman eh. Nasa contract of loan pa lang naman. No? Wala po, no? The transaction did not involve things belonging to A. Nothing belonged to A. It was C. NCB, SPA niya kay A, hindi naman kay C. So, pasok din po sa pangatlong element. With that being said, di ba? Should the action be dismissed? No. The action should not be dismissed because the agent who acted in his own name and for the benefit of an undisclosed principal. Diba? The action can be prosecuted or defended against an agent who acted in his own name and for the benefit of an undisclosed principal. And the transaction did not involve things belonging to the principal. It belonged to the other side. Diba? To the opposing party. So, okay po tayo sa C versus B lang. Okay tayo dyan. Kahit wala si A. Oh, kung gusto ni B, kung which we will tackle later on, kung medyo, syempre, ba't ako magbabayad? Wala naman akong kinita dyan, di ba? Sabi ni B, ba't ako magbabayad kay C? Ba't akong kailangan singilin ni C? Eh, hindi naman talaga ako yung nag-benefit. Ang nag-benefit si A kasi binigay ko sa kanya yung pera. So, okay. Tangent na lang tayo ulit. Ano ngayon ang gagawin ni C? O, di C, di ba? C versus B. O, pasok talagang siya ihahabla niya, no? Hindi kailangan si A. Hindi kailangan si A. Kasi nga, panalo sa lahat ng elements eh. In his own name, undisclosed principal, si A, and it did not involve properties belonging to the transaction did not involve properties belonging to A. It involved things belonging to B, to C. Okay. So ano ngayon ang remedy ni C? Magta-third party complaint ka ngayon. Third party complaint. Atakin natin yung later on sa Article 6. So magiging C versus B versus A. B will seek contribution, indemnity from A. Si C, ang pwede niyang ihabla si B. Si C, talagang pwede niya singilin si B kasi si B ang kakontrate. So para ngayon, si B walang ilabas, magpali siya ng third party complaint kay A. Motion for leave of court to file or to admit a third party complaint against A. What's the purpose of the third party complaint? To seek reimbursement, contribution, indemnity. So ngayon, ang suma total niyan, pag nagbigay si CK, pag si C nag-file kay B, si B binigyan niya na grant yung kanyang third party complaint, si A na i-file, ang mangyayari dyan, yun din ang suma total. Di ba? Ang maglalabas lang po talaga ng pera pabalik with the interest and the principal, si A lang. That's B's remedy. Pero hindi po madidismiss yung kaso for failure to state cause of action because B siya ang pwedeng i-file ni C. Kasi nga, pasok po sa tatlong elements na binigay nung kaso at saka binigay nung Rule 3. Okay? Sana po malinaw. Okay. Balik tayo sa document. No? Sa Word document tayo. Okay, dito tayo sa ano yung Vigent case, no? Vigent versus Morningstar, no? So ano nangyari sa kaso na 'yan? Sa kaso na 'to, Petitioner Vigent Incorporated bought 26 two-way plane tickets from the respondent Morningstar. Okay? So bumili siya ng 26 na ticket, no? On June 24, 1998 and September 28, 1998, Vigent returned a total of 15 unused tickets worth 8,747 to Morningstar. Okay. Of the 15, Morningstar refunded only 6. It refused to refund the remaining 9. Dapat hindi defendant to respondent. Dapat. On December 15, 2000, petitioner Vigent filed a money claim against Morningstar for the payment of the unrefunded $5,301 and $5,301.88 plus attorney's fees. The complaint was referred to Branch 2 of the METC of Manila. Okay? Morningstar questioned Vigent's personality to file the suit. It asserted that the passengers in whose names the tickets were issued were the real parties in interest. On January 27, 2006, grabe yung kaso, no? Tagal na tulog, no? The METC declared that as agent of the parties who paid for the tickets, di pala natulog, ang tagal nung proseso. Mag-10 taon na sila. The METC declared that as agent of the passengers who paid for the tickets, Vigent stood as the real party in interest. So sabi po ng METC, dahil daw si Vigent yung ahente ng mga pasahero, kasi nga tama naman, no? Si Vigent ang bumili ng plane ticket kay Morningstar eh. Hindi naman personally pumunta doon yung mga pasahero para bumili ng ticket, sabi nung yun ang contention. So bakit? So talagang dapat si Vigent ang magpa-file ng kaso against Morningstar, no? So METC declared that as agent of the passengers who paid for the tickets, Vigent stood as the real party in interest. Should the passengers be included in the title of the case? The answer is yes. The passengers should be included in the title of the case. Tingnan ulit natin yung tatlong elements. So talagang tatlong elements natin ito puhunan, no? Did the agent act in his own name during the transaction? Yes. Kasi nga, ang bumili po ng 26 tickets si Vigent, okay, kay Morningstar. So, hindi naman di ba? Okay. The agent acted for the benefit of an undisclosed principal and the transaction did not involve the property of the principal. In the present case, sabi po sa kaso, only the first element is present. Kasi nga, silang dalawa lang ang nag-transaction. However, the remaining two elements were absent because Vigent disclosed the names of the passengers to Morningstar. In fact, the tickets were in their names, which is, kung alam, di ba, kung sanay tayo sa air travel, alam na alam niyo yan. Hindi pwede na kung sinong Poncio Pilato ilalagay mo sa plane ticket, di ba? Dapat yung plane ticket nakalagay doon yung pangalan ng pasahero. So, nagkaroon po ng disclosure of the principal. Diba? The tickets themselves contained the names of the principals. So we cannot say that Vigent acted on behalf of an undisclosed principal. They were disclosed. Okay? Lastly, the transaction was paid using the passengers' money. No? Si Vigent ang nakipag-transaction kay Morningstar, pero yung pera galing sa mga pasahero. So, the transaction involved things belonging to the principal. Kaya dapat ang kaso po nato nung nag-file si Vigent ng kaso, dapat the names of the passenger as represented by Vigent versus Morningstar. Since hindi inilagay ni Vigent yan, didismiss yung kaso for failure to state cause of action. Actually, nakalagay sa kaso yung personality to file the suit. Nagkakalituhan. No? Dapat hindi yan ng, well, to be clearer, dapat hindi ito yung nilagay na parang kontenso ng Morningstar. Dapat, Mr. Morningstar question Vigents, Morningstar parang filed an answer, no, based on failure to state cause of action or filed an answer with an affirmative defense of failure to state cause of action. Kasi pag sinabi mong personality to file the suit, parang ang target natin, lack of capacity to sue eh. Hindi naman yun kasi corporation yan, may capacity to sue yan. Diba? So, anyway, I will just like to clarify that failure to state. No? Therefore, Rule 3, Section 3 of the Rules of Court cannot apply. Anyways, you get the point, no? So, ang real party in interest talaga dito, yung passengers, hindi po si Vigent. Because the second and the third elements were absent. Okay. Move tayo to indispensable parties.